All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else, and the video I'm bringing you today, we are going to be covering the dual wield skill line, the changes to Hidden Blade. If we go on the PTS, which is obviously right here, and then we go to Hidden, oh, wrong one. Hidden Blade. Rework this ability from a range spammable into a utility skill, so it's no longer in the spammable category. Increase the cost, reduce the range to 22 meters, reduce the damage dealt by 25%. These abilities will now interrupt the target if they were casting an attack. This ability no longer applies major brutality instantly, whatever. That changed. Shrouded daggers. This ability no longer deals increased damage per bounce, but can interrupt any target hit. This ability now only marks the target instead of an enemy hit with the bounce. And then the flying blade morph. This morph allows you to reactivate the ability free of cost on a marked target, which causes you to jump to the target and gain major brutality for 30 seconds. So this skill has gone from a spammable to obviously utility skill, as it said. Do not look at the tooltips. Don't worry about that. I just threw on some gear for quick testing. Fire a secret dagger from your sleeve at an enemy, dealing physical damage and granting you major brutality. This is the unmorphed version. If the enemy hit is casting an ability, they are interrupted, set off balance, and stunned for 3 seconds. So both these have interesting aspects to it. So as you guys know, in the Scalebreaker DLC, they upped the amount of off balance time. If I remember correctly, it went from 5 seconds to 7 seconds. Off balance, if you activate it in your, we're going to go into this really quick, show you, can give you guys some options. But if we set an enemy off balance, we can, and we have the exploiter passive, we can increase our damage by 10% against off-balance enemies. 10% is obviously a lot. It is a big damage boost. And so both these have intriguing options in my opinion. So we have the Shrouded Dagger change, increase the damage, and the dagger now bounces to a total of 3 times. So this is the AoE one. If enemies hit are casting, they are interrupted, set off balance, and stunned for 3 seconds. I honestly think this is a very cool morph, and I don't know if it's overlooked or not. I don't pay attention to the forums to see what people are saying about this, but as this pertains to PvP, this is going to be very, very valuable in my opinion, guys. And the reason I'm looking at it, I've literally never used this skill. I've never used Flying Blade. I've just never had a need to. And now with Shrouded Daggers, this has potential. So if you're 1vxing, and there's a Templar in the group, and there's always a Templar in the group, and they like to spam Radiant, you don't have to focus on the group. You just kind of throw it into the pile and you set them off balance. And so all of a sudden the person spamming Radiant is set off balance, so now you do 10% more damage to them, and the person you need to take out the most, which is the Templar, you have chance for 10% more burst potential. And so this is kind of exciting. In my opinion, it's a reaction to somebody potentially throwing snipe. What's the range on this again? I can't remember. I think it's 22 meters for both. So if somebody's sniping you, you throw this, you set them off balance, and you leap on them, or if you have a gap closer or whatever, then you come in and you hit them with your heavy hitting combo, and now you do 10% more damage, and the person in the cast time is now dead. So I like this idea. I don't know if I will necessarily use it, but this definitely has utility. And then finally, the Flying Blade one, the one that we're going to test, because people, I think, want to see this one. The new effect is reactivate a second time to jump to the enemy, damaging them and granting you major brutality. So you can fire a dagger. It does X amount of damage. The enemy hit is casting an ability. They're interrupted, set off balance, and stunned still. While an enemy is marked, reactivating this ability on them allows you to jump to them, dealing whatever. And so we're going to test this one. And so, as I said, guys, this is where it's kind of intriguing in open world PvP, because if you can single target and focus down the person casting an ability on you, and you hit them with this, you're going to set them off balance, and then you can gap close in. And so, once again, it's too bad, but this looks just like ambush. So another skill looks exactly like what Stam Nightblades have. It's too bad they couldn't come up with their own thing. I get it. Maybe a new animation would lag things out, and so they had to copy, what other what another class had. I really don't know, but yeah, it looks exactly like ambush, and so you are going to. I think you very well could get confused for the first few, days of the new patch, because all of a sudden you have somebody ambush in at you, and then when you're fighting, and then they drop a leap, and you're like, wait a minute, did that Stam Nightblade just leap on me? No, that wasn't a Stam Nightblade. They're using Flying Blades. So, in my opinion, I do like this. I think this is very cool. A chance for off balance. Off balance is obviously in the CP tree. Getting more ways to get off balance is valuable. Currently, it's not the only way to get off balance, obviously, but one of the ways to get off balance, obviously, is to dodge an attack and here. So if you have 120 CP here, you can set them off balance, and then if you have 75 here, then you get 10% more damage. So that's one way to do it. Obviously, Nightblade, Concealed Weapon, and Surprise Attack can set people off balance. Bashing an attack or interrupting a casting ability sets them off balance, like this skill. But yeah, they buffed off balance, and so it's going to be, a more utilized skill, I think, in the Scalebreaker patch. And so if you know the mechanics for what off balance are and how you can proc it, you can add free damage to your toolkit. And so I think this is worth looking at. I don't know, how I would make it fit, but that's the end of the video. Let me know what you guys think about this change. Let me know if you're excited about it. If you don't like it, whatever. And as always, guys, if I missed something that I haven't done a video on that you want to see, please let me know in the comment section. I do need to get into the class videos. I want to start diving into those this week. So if there's nothing, I think I covered most of the big stuff. So yeah, if there's no requests, I'm going to do those. So thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.